You ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Yeah. I'm good, man.
What's up, everybody? It is Redbeard here with Audio Biz, and we are having another Hot Conversations. And today's guest is Matt from Pliant. Matt's the what's the official title, Matt?
Regional sales manager.
The regional sales manager.
And we'll call it from the Northeast,
All
we'll
right.
say. Even though that technically includes your guys' portion of the country.
It's true.
So we'll say upper Midwest as well.
It's that whole Mississippi River. You
Yeah.
know, people get confused and everything.
It's close enough. It's fine.
All right. Well, sorry, I was going to try and do a bad Boston accent, but I decided not to. So, we're talking about Pliant, and you are fairly new to Pliant. So, give me a rundown about who's Matt.
All right. So I am the regional sales manager. I just started with Pliant about 2 years ago, roughly. Okay. Prior to that, I worked for a Japanese audio manufacturer for the better part of a decade, I would say. So I've been in the AV world for quite some time, and prior to that, I've been a musician and been touring and spent a lot of time in recording studios. So I've spent a lot of time around audio gear. So this was just kind of like the natural progression, I would say, from coming from just working with microphones to then now kind of coming into more of the general AV space and how audio plays into that.
The behind the scenes now, doing
it is.
comms and everything. Yeah. So some people might not be familiar with Pliant, but who's Pliant? And phone is vibrating. Sake.
Fuck, Shawn.
All right. Well, I had it on Do Not Disturb, but apparently my wife can get through on Do Not Disturb. All right.
But you probably set that on purpose, though.
I did,
It's emergencies, man.
Exactly.
You
All right.
gotta have the contingencies.
That screwed me up. Let's start over. I'm going to do this over again. Let's cut and do one more intro. Leah threw me off. All right. Hot Conversations, take 2. This time, Shawn doesn't have his cell phone on. All right. Now are you ready?
Now I am ready.
I'm ready.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
What's up, everybody? It is Redbeard here for Audio Biz, and we are having another Hot Conversations with one of our esteemed vendors, Pliant Technologies. And today I have got Matt Lott from Pliant. He is your official title, I guess I should say.
Regional sales manager, and I would say that would include the Northeast and the upper Midwest areas of the country.
All right. He gets to deal with us wonderful reps. We're the best, but what can I say? Those other people are cool. So we're going to have a conversation today. We're going to learn a little bit more about what Pliant Technologies does. And of course, because we've got chicken wings in front of us, we're going to also eat some hot sauce. So hopefully you like hot sauce. We talked about this before. You do. So we'll see.
I am a fan. Yeah.
Brian, our executive producer of the show, picked up some new hot sauces for us today from Melinda's. Never had Melinda's. So we're going to start out on the mild and go all the way up to the ghost pepper. So hope you have some Tums ready. And
actually, you know what? I did pack Tums.
All right, you're a smart man.
It's it's the downfall of being an adult, I guess.
That
Having to pack Tums for everywhere you go, right?
That is true. All right. So tell us a little bit about Pliant. Who is Pliant Technologies?
So, Pliant is essentially the professional arm of our parent company called Coachcom.
Okay.
So, Coachcom has been in business for about 30 years now, and they handle a lot of the coaching communications for most D1 football. So, Pliant is really just the professional arm of that, which is really taking the same RF technology and kind of repurposing that for the live, event space, essentially. So that can include broadcasts, rock concerts, houses of worship, theater, things of that nature.
All right,
so.
Cool. I also forgot to mention this, Matt. This isn't all just going to be business. We are going to have some fun things to learn a little bit more about Matt. So, but before we lead into our next fun question, we better sauce up. So I'll let you do the honors. We're going to start off with some Frank's Red Hot, which really isn't all that hot.
So the question is, well, you know what? I've got drums on both sides.
You got drums on both sides. So
we'll start off here. It's a little
sauce that bad boy up. Ooh, wow, you're going like full bore. All right.
And you gotta match me too.
I do.
Yeah.
This is going to be horrible later on. I'm always wonder why we do this stuff, but hey, since you are a music fan and a musician, we're going to go with a lot of music themed questions to learn about Mr. Matt here.
Okay.
So, if you could make a record with any engineer, producer, living or dead, who would it be?
That is a great question, actually. We're gonna go engineer. Probably, yeah. I mean, you gotta go. I guess you gotta go Brian Wilson. You gotta go. You gotta go the Beach Boys.
All right.
See, he was such an interesting guy, and I mean, just some of the things that he was trying to kind of do in the studio back in the day were, really kind of bonkers for the times.
That's true.
And then plus he was kind of losing his mind a little bit too. So
that's very true. I've always thought Trent Reznor. I would love to see into the the mind of Trent Reznor and a lot of the project that they've produced and things like that. So
okay,
that's who I would go through. So cheers. Let's have some Frank's Red Hot.
Cheers.
Brian, you did an amazing job with the air fryer. Shout out to Clodagh for letting you bring that down. Diving in a little bit more. Why do you think intercom, like what makes intercom the best choice for like shows, sports communications, over like something like a two-way radio? Like, why would you say comms?
Well, I mean, two-way radio is good for certain things, and two-way radio is really going to give you. It's really designed for a distance, essentially. But the way that it's designed is that it's also just a single person talking, and then everybody has to listen while only that one person talks.
Got it. Yeah.
Whereas using a comm system, it could be like a phone in your house, and everybody can just pick up a receiver in the house, and everybody can all talk at the same time simultaneously.
Party line.
Or just everybody's sitting around a table, and everybody can converse all simultaneously, and we can all talk in here, just like we are now.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's really just more of a convenience factor and giving everybody that more effective communication to do what they need to do without having to wait for one person to stop speaking before somebody else, can chime in.
Totally. We're on to our next sauce here. We're going to start out with Melinda's original habanero hot sauce. It's a one pepper star. So we'll see how.
Okay. And this has a much larger spout. So
watch out.
A lighter pour here. There we go.
Just don't do me dirty on the ghost peppers later on, All right. So, I just got saucy. Man. This is horrible. So, Matt, what was your first show or concert you ever went to?
Well, I used to see a lot of local bands when I was younger, so I remember my cousin taking me to see some local bands at a VFW hall. But I would say the first major concert that I went to was Fastball, Sugar Ray, and the Goo Goo Dolls on tour.
All right.
I think that was in maybe 1997 or 98.
Yeah, that's been a classic show. I've seen Sugar Ray a couple times.
Okay.
And the Goo Goo Dolls. So
okay.
Back in the day, but... we'll dive in and then I'll answer because I actually don't even remember what the first show I ever actually saw to.
Really?
So, not bad. Got a little zing to it. Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little dripping off there that get the rest of that up there.
There you go.
Is it an appropriate time to crack the beer yet?
I don't think there's ever an inappropriate time to crack the beer.
That is true. Today's show is sponsored by High Life, the champagne of beers. Being from the great state of Wisconsin, we got to pay homage to Miller. So,
cheers, buddy.
Also, wasn't this where Laverne and Shirley worked at? Does anyone remember Laverne and Shirley, the show?
I do.
You do? Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I think they worked at Miller. I'm pretty sure. Brian, producer.
I'll have to look that up. I don't know.
All right. Oh, man. Champagne and beers. Gotta love it. Why do you recommend wireless for intercoms? Like, why wireless? Why not wired?
I feel like, well, I mean, right now we're living in a wireless world anyway, but I would say just the way that the industry is going, there's a lot of people that really need the ability to be mobile, and you might even have people on a production team that have to fill more than one role. And it's really difficult to do if you're using a traditional 2-wire system and you're going to be tethered to a wall or, a board or front of house or something like that. So to have the ability to be able to walk a venue, be mobile, roam, check on other people on staff and make sure that everything's good. It's just really the convenience factor. So, I mean, it's gone that way with so many things now with just wireless technology and our cell phones and everything like that. So just kind of have that seamless roaming ability is really, really important.
Yeah.
So
it does allow you, to be able to move around and be able to communicate, wireless. But, all right. So our producer got it back. It was the Shots Brewing Company that Laverne and Shirley worked at. So R.I.P. Cindy Williams. So
that was just last week, wasn't it?
That was, yes.
Yeah.
That was. So we're going to have to make sure we edit this right away. So
I was going to say, I didn't want to be the one to bring it up. Let's sour the mood. But
That's true. So we're on to Melinda's original habanero. 2 fireballs, fire things, whatever. Fireballs,
2
hot sauce,
2 flames. Oh, this
one is.
They give you the smaller spout now because once you're kicking up in temperature here,
they know.
Yeah. So maybe the super hot one's going to be the same way.
I'm not looking forward to the super hot. I mean, I'm not good at this. Last time I hiccuped and there was snot out of my nose. It wasn't good. It was not good.
So I think 4 little.
I
did 4 little dabby dabs there.
Dabby dabs. I'm one up. Yeah, we did 5. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. What's the current musical artist that inspires you the most, like right now? Like, what are you into and listening to?
I would say right now, I mean, I've always been a big fan of the band Minus the Bear, and the guitar player Dave Knudsen has put out a solo record recently. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff.
Okay.
He does a lot of things with like guitar, like he does a lot of sampling and gates with guitar pedals and stuff like that. Okay. So
cool.
But, a lot of the music that I'd played in previous bands was very heavily influenced by Minus the Bear. So that's still kind of carried through to now as well. Right.
I will put Minus the Bear on my next playlist. I am not familiar, idea. So I will do that. All right, let's dive in.
Let's get it.
It's getting a little zestier. Mm-hmm. I'd say, it's got some bite in the back of the throat there. For me, as of late, I've been all over the map. I just recently had like a Manchester orchestra kind of stint where there was a lot of Manchester orchestra. But I've also been going back to, I don't want to sound cliche just because she came out with a new single, but Miley Cyrus as of late, the last album, if you never dived into that.
I have not.
Highly recommend. Lots of cameos with other artists. It's just a solid album front to back. So
okay,
check that out.
Well, I'm also a big fan of Manchester Orchestra and anything that Andy Hull touches. So big fan of him.
I got to do sound for them once. It was rather fun. Intimate show for a local radio station. So it was before a concert. So it's pretty cool, though.
I've been told he's a really nice guy, too.
They were.
Andy.
Yeah.
Specifically. But yeah.
They were a fun band to do, and they were very chill. So kind of touched on wireless of like why you think wireless is, a good option, which I would agree with. But Pliant does some things a little bit differently from the RF perspective. So like what frequency bands are you guys using versus maybe some other competitive people that are on the marketplace?
Sure. So we actually, most of our systems, we usually recommend that people do in the 900 megahertz spectrum.
Okay.
It's in the ISM band, so, don't have to have a license to operate that. And we specifically do 902 to 928, and it's fairly open in most places. So, really there's not a lot of, interference that you're going to run into in most cases. And it seems to be really successful with that particular system. 900 has great propagation, so you're going to get good distances. You can actually get through, some walls and a couple blockages depending on the makeup. But and then we also do all of our systems in 2.4 gig as well.
Okay.
So just to kind of give people the option of either or, and then obviously 2.4 gig specifically will travel nicely. So if you have to go anywhere out of country and you may or may not be able to use a 900 meg system, or, if you're specifically going to be in an area where there's going to be 900 interference, you can always switch over to 2.4. And the nice thing too is that on some of the systems you can actually mix and match both simultaneously as well. It. So if you're pinched in in RF availability, you have that option as well. So,
definitely. I can feel the heat coming on. It's just sitting there. It's
on the lingering on the back of the
lingering.
Tongue.
But, some of the competitors out there use like decked bands. Why do you guys recommend not necessarily going into that spectrum? Or I guess why didn't you guys go into that spectrum?
Well, I mean, 900's really got better propagation than going that high up in the spectrum band anyway. And then usually 900 we have a better protocol for frequency hopping as well. Okay. And then decked, you may or may not run into some issues in certain venues with multipath and things like that. And then just also available bandwidth. There might be other things in the venue that are already on a decked band frequency, and might kind of hinder how many devices you can have operating on that.
Got it.
So whereas 900 is usually fairly open in most larger venues and such. So it's usually a little bit more convenient.
Yeah. So with the frequency hopping, do you is there a bunch of setup? I mean, I know the answer to the question, but for the other people out there, is there a lot of setup to the systems? Is it hard to get up and running? I guess
it's not, and that's a nice thing about the frequency hopping that we actually put into our systems. Is it's going to do it seamlessly, so you don't really have to be an RF engineer or have this grandiose RF background to operate the systems.
Yeah.
So you can be confident that you could take it into a space and use it, and not have to have all this RF background to be able to not only operate the system, but just to say, okay, well, maybe I have a concern that if there's possibly something in 900 that this might conflict with, is it going to be on a static frequency where I might, butt up against it? Mm-hmm. And that you don't have to worry about that. It's just going to hop around seamlessly. And even if it tries to shoot a signal out where there's already something on that, it'll just hop over and you'll be good to go.
Yeah. So. It is pretty cool. I've done some RF stuff and being able to look at frequency hopping on a spectrum manager, or a spectrum analyzer. It's pretty cool to see how it's just jumping all over the place and doing all the stuff in the background. It's actually kind of crazy how many times it is moving in seconds.
It's fun to watch if you can just look at only just that part of the spectrum and then just have the system off and just see a flat line and then just hit the switch and then you just see the craziness. It's really cool. So, but that's a good visualization to just actually see what the system is doing in the background. That nobody can see or hear or touch. It's just doing it all on its own. So
cool. All right. Well, we're halfway through now. We're stepping it up now to the the XX extra hot pepper sauce. So this is habanero, but something else was already habanero. Do they just crank it up?
I was gonna say, do they add other peppers to it, or just
I don't know.
More...
We haven't looked at the ingredients here, but
a good question.
I'll let you lead there. It's a slightly larger hole, so the holes. Melinda's does not have a very standardized hot sauce delivery method there.
Also noticed there was varying amounts in these bottles as well.
Yeah, well,
based on the fill,
the artisanal portion of hot sauces. So.
Are you loaded up a little bit? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to go that deep with it.
We'll see. We were just trying to figure out what's going to be for dinner later. Do we just continue doing hot wings?
I feel like we have to at this point. Just stick with the trend.
Awesome. All right. So let's take a bite and then I'll ask your next question to learn more about Matt.
Sounds good.
Doesn't seem that hot, but I know it's going to creep up on me. So, Matt, if you were offered $50,000 to dance for 2 minutes, in front of a stadium full of people, would you do it?
For
And what type of dance would you do?
I mean, 50 grand, absolutely, I would do it. And I don't know. I would say probably the one that's going to piss the most people off would be, I would just do the chicken dance. Yeah.
All right, chicken dance. That works.
For everybody that says it's not allowed at their wedding. So, and then I can just force them to watch me do the chicken dance.
That's true. And 50 grand is, I don't know, a decent amount of money. This is not that hot. I think they lied to us. I mean, what do you think? It's, I don't know. Doesn't seem as hot.
This tastes like one of the ones where, like, it's going to make you sweat, but it's not going to burn the tongue.
That's true.
You know? Like, you get, like, a little bit of the sweat ring around the eyes, but, you know.
I would dance for $50,000 too, but I'm going to go back to my young youth listening to ska and punk music, and I would have to do some skanking.
You're going to skank?
I'm
Okay.
gonna skank, you know.
All right.
I one time skanked on stage at a Less Than Jake concert, and I also stage dove off the stage. It was my first time stage diving. So, all right, now it's hanging around. Now I found it. It's coming up. What's the largest system you've ever, helped deploy or worked on? And what were some of those challenges that you kind of ran up with that system and that you guys had to overcome?
So, I actually did not help deploy it myself, but Pliant as a company, we do have a 385 pack system.
That was a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. That's deployed across multiple studios in a larger television network in New York City.
All right.
I would think, challenge-wise, you're already going for the milk. Okay.
I had to. I don't want it to creep up on me.
Well, I think with a system that big, though, probably the biggest challenge was just the amount of packs that they have and the amount of available RF. So that's pretty strategically split up between 900 meg and 2.4, kind of all in the same building.
Okay.
And then just trying to coordinate hopping patterns as well.
Was there a rhyme or reason on how it's split up between the 900 and the 2.4? Or is it certain studios are on one frequency and other ones are on a different one?
I think it's the latter, actually, if I remember correctly. So I think there's certain studios on one floor. There might be, 2 or 3 studios, and they're kind of coordinated amongst themselves. And then you go a floor down, and those are coordinated amongst themselves. So.
Got it. All right. I lied to everyone out there. The extra hot comes up on you. It's a creeper. That's got the lips are burning. So,
okay.
I don't know. This is where I don't know why I subject myself to this. I guess I just want to be liked on the World Wide Web, so. All right.
Well, I saw you go for the lip balm, so.
I did. I had to protect. So now we're one more X. This is the 4X Reserve. So this is a 2022 special edition. We got 4 fireballs on this one. So this one's also a habanero one. So yeah, we're gonna see what we got here.
Okay.
We'll sauce up.
Let's see. Now I have a drum and a flat left, so I feel like I'm gonna put this on the drum and I'm gonna finish with the flat because I'm a flats guy.
All right.
So.
Do you have the cool technique where you can just put it in your mouth and pull off all of the meat?
So I don't usually do that. Sometimes I'll do where I'd use my fingers to press it down and then just pull everything off at the end. So that seems to be a little bit more of an effective.
That'll be B-roll for this. We'll have B-roll. How does Matt eat his wings?
All right, we're doing small dabs. For
all
this.
right, really small dabs, or are we just not throwing down now? I mean, we have to get some good content where we're pretty much snotting ourselves and crying, which I know is probably going to happen starting about now. Well, okay, easy there, Hoss.
Your move.
All right,
Chief.
All right. So while I'm saucing up, what are your 3 top music venues for seeing shows at in the world?
In the world.
All
right. Well, I would say most of my venue experience is probably the tri-state area based kind of thing. So, probably. Starland Ballroom is classic.
Okay. We were having a conversation about this before.
And I would actually, you know what? We're going to stay all the way down there for this one. So I would say probably top 3, and for numerous reasons, but we're going to go Starland Ballroom as number 3. Number 2 is going to be the Convention Hall in Asbury Park. And number 1 is going to be the Stone Pony in Asbury Park.
The Stone Pony.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool venue. So,
the home of Bruce Springsteen, man.
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, that's stomping grounds.
All right, well, let's dive in. So, my venues, I'm going to start off with an oldie that used to be in Madison that is no longer, unfortunately. A venue called O'Cave's Corral, which used to be the cool punk rock club back in the day. Unfortunately, it burned down, so that was no fun. I'm also going to keep it very regional. The Rave in Milwaukee, the Eagles Ballroom Rave, multiple venues in there, so that place is always really cool. It's an old building from, 30s, Brian? Maybe? Yeah, 30s. They've got a haunted pool in there, so that's kind of cool. It used to be a athletic club, and they have a pool that's in the basement, and
So like a lot of people drown in it. Is that
I don't
why
know
it's
if
haunted?
it's just the venue is like super old school, and a lot of people say that it is it's haunted. And Brian pulled it up for me. 1927 was when this place was built, but it's kind of crazy. They got the haunted pool, and they got like the upstairs ballroom. So it's kind of crazy to see like rock shows in this old, like really old place. But I've seen some good fun shows there. And I don't know, third venue. I would have to say the Metro in Chicago. Kind of a classic one. Everyone's played there. Not too big. Also kind of an old school place. Probably built also in the 20s or 30s.
That's someplace I've actually always wanted to see a show at. So.
Well, next time you're in town, we'll go see somebody at the Metro. Again, I have a feeling these all kind of creep up on you.
Yeah, that last one, it was actually almost like sweet at first.
It is.
And then the burn comes late.
Oh, great. I'm looking forward to it. All right.
Yeah, now it's warm. Now it's catching up.
No, I shouldn't be using the water because that's not good for you.
We'll do nothing.
I should be drinking more milk, but I'm going to drink the champagne and beers instead. We've got one more wing left, so one more serious question about Pliant.
Okay.
What do you think that makes Pliant stand out from the crowded comms market? Like, what makes you unique besides having you, of course?
Well, I'm a special guy, but
Some would say that.
well, I mean, the interesting thing is that at least in the comms world, I mean, there's not really a lot of us in the space. It's for lack of a better phrase, it's kind of like a niche of a niche. So,
All right.
we're all friendly and we all know each other, and really, comm systems, it's everybody. People are talking to people. It's just how are we all getting there? But as far as Pliant specifically, though, I would say that a lot of it is just like the product offerings that we have, where that one is catching up. We really do have like a very nice fleshed out product line. So whereas we have some competition where it's kind of down in like the low to mid end or only in the high end.
Okay.
And so our product line kind of spans all of that. So anybody that's actually looking for comms, they can come to us, and we're pretty much guaranteed to have a solution that's going to work for them, that's going to work for what their needs are and their budget might be in their specific space.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big advantages and one of the things that makes us special. And then actually, we also manufacture a good chunk of our systems. We actually manufacture right in our headquarters in Auburn, Alabama as well.
All right.
So kind of a homegrown setup there.
I love it.
And just the customer service too. Our kind of general tagline essentially is for the customer. So we tend to be overly very responsive to our customers, and their needs and, support and things like that. And we actually do really listen to the customers when they come to us with suggestions or, things they maybe want to change about the system. And, we take those things to heart and we really try to implement what we can when we can.
Hot Conversations, take 3, because we're a dumbass and the cameras ran out of roll. Can I say dumbass? Yeah, sure, whatever. This is outtake. Matt, because our cameras had a little technical difficulty, I got to remember that 30-minute mark. We get to redo our last chicken wing.
You're killing me, man.
Sorry, everyone out in viewership land. We had technical difficulty and our cameras stopped recording. So we're going to take it up with our last question here. All right, so we're on to our last hot sauce. Which we get to do again because our camera roll stopped. But because we've had some time to cool off, we're going to have to go like full bore on this guy. So we got the ghost pepper hot sauce. Brian doesn't think that this is really anything that big because Brian has an iron mouth, I guess. So, let's sauce this bad boy up.
And I forgot that during the break, I actually put the glass of milk in the freezer to get it ice cold, specifically for this moment. So, all right, we're gonna sauce this bad boy up. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Here, there's a little bit missing there, right there. All right. So, we had you sign a waiver for this, right? Or no? No.
It's not like BW3s when you have to sign the waiver. All right. Yeah, we got our milk. Oh, that looks delicious.
Frosted glass now.
That looks delicious. We've got one more wing. We've got one more personal question for you. So, if you were a bartender, and you could serve any musician, who would be the musician that you would serve?
Freddie Mercury.
Ooh, like right out of the gate, Freddie Mercury. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive in and discuss this more.
All right.
So why Freddie Mercury? I mean, obviously, but
just the larger than life personality and just the unbelievable musical talent. And I'm sure that once you got him drunk enough, he was probably one of the most interesting people to talk to while he was absolutely hammered. So he could probably still sing an incredible tune and or play piano while he was completely smashed.
So I don't know who I would do. That's a tough one. I would maybe say Johnny Cash. I think would have some pretty dang good stories about life. He would be a good one. And I've always wanted to hang out with Lemmy. I mean, I could have, gone to the Rainbow Room or whatever, but I would thought he would probably have some pretty funny stories. So
I feel like I have to bring up that. Was that Airheads where it says, asking the guy outside of the radio station, he's like, who's better, Lemmy or God? And it's a trick question. Lemmy is God. Slam the door in his face.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm feeling this is somewhat anticlimactic. Because we don't have the heat build up.
Ooh, but it's hitting on the front of the tongue very quickly.
It is coming. So I guess, is there any like closing thoughts that you've got on Pliant life, chicken wings, music? Like, what's the takeaway?
Well, as I said before we had the malfunction, I would definitely say that anybody who has not heard of Pliant or is in need of comms and hasn't done their research to check us out online, just go to plianttechnologies.com.
Or hit up your audio biz sales rep.
Or that. Really consider us and kind of, give us a fair shake. And I think we can really do a lot for somebody who's looking for, something in the comm space. Yeah. Now it's hitting. And I would say probably as far as music, I gotta get out there and see some shows in 2023, man. Yeah,
That's my goal.
gotta buy some tickets, right? But yeah, I think that's probably the way I'd want to leave it.
Support local music. But
Yeah, attack 2023 with vengeance. right?
exactly. Well, we appreciate you guys all joining in for the Hot Conversations. If you've got any suggestions or other people in the industry that we should interview, let us know. You can always hit me up on my personal email address, redbeard@audiobiz.com. I've got my own personal email. Do you have a nickname, Matt?
Latte Fresh was one I had in high school. And that stuck
Latte
around.
Fresh.
That stuck a while. That stuck around for a while after the fact too. So.
All right, was there a good story on how you got to be called Latte Fresh? Or
I think I had an instant messenger scream name that used to be Morning Latte. Like, have your morning latte. And then somebody would just thought my last name was pronounced Latte or something weird. And then that morphed into Latte Fresh.
whole lot of Latte Fresh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Very nice.
Matt's now forever going to be known as Latte Fresh in my phone book. So
There it is.
well, thanks again for coming. We appreciate you enduring this, and sorry for our foobar on the camera technical difficulties, but we'd love to have you back sometime to discuss more on Pliant and music and all the fun things in life. So
I'd love to do it. So, sounds good.
awesome.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, again, we appreciate you guys checking us out in the Hot Conversations with AudioBiz, and stay tuned for other episodes to come. Thanks a lot.
That last snorting.